Right, while we're away, keep your fingers crossed. This is Grumpy Old Ken, number 26. It's November the 3rd. That's about all you need to know. Basically, this little exercise of mine, this weekly, every 10 days, whatever, is an exercise on memory. So consequently, I'm looking back basically what life was about 70 years ago, 60 years ago. I remember it not that well, but well enough. Everything at the moment is full of Christmas. Christmas in the shops, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. And that has been so since September. Certainly the whole of October. It's pleasant, I find it very pleasant, rather commercial, upsets a lot of people. But this is it, you won't see it again. So, well, certainly not till next year. So make the best of it. So what stays in the mind, what catches the eye at this time of year, and what caught it all those years ago, I suppose. Let me think, what comes to mind. Strangely enough, nothing to do with Christmas itself. Outside toilets I remember well. Dark nights, earth toilets quite often. Certainly until I was into my teens. Down the garden, very cold, a little bit frightening when you were little. You were glad to do your business, so to speak, and rush back indoors. That was the norm. What else could I? Football this time of year. Always on terraces, of course. No sitting down. In fact, it's only in recent years I've sat down at all at football. There is a move to try and get it back. I certainly don't want it. But whatever turns you on. Football started years and years ago, of course, when I was young, early in the afternoon, because it got dark and there were no floodlights. Our times change. And as a matter of interest, we've got a football match tonight. There'll be 30,000 people there, shouting and roaring Derby County on. We have got high hopes. There again, I think every year we have high hopes. What springs to mind, another thing that springs to mind is health. It springs to mind nowadays, it's quite a big important part. When we were young, it was things like, what did you hear about and what was amongst us? Diphtheria, scarlet fever, measles, whooping cough, ringworm. When I was very, very small, I had rickets, but I don't remember it. Nits. If you hadn't got nits, you were a visitor. You were a stranger to the area, I think. And you almost certainly got them from the person alongside you at school. And you'd go home, you'd be deloused, and in a short amount of time, you'd come home again with some lice, because basically, quite often, it was grandparents and parents that were passing it on. So they weren't deloused, certainly grandparents weren't. And so the moment the child came back to school, they brought them back some a fresh supply, if you like. What a thought. What else? Being poor, although we didn't know anything else, it was fairly normal in this time of year to put a coat on your bed as well as a blanket. And chamber pots. Who didn't have a chamber pot under the bed? Yeah, you don't see them very often now. I suppose some people still use them. I suppose we've been spoilt. I don't know. Silverfish. Strange enough, now what brings that back, I wonder? Little silverfish running around the hearth in the cottage where we lived. We had gas lit lamps. Used to make a pop, 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 popping sound. I'm not sure why. Was that when they were lit or when they were turned off? I can't remember. But very cosy in a way. We all had them 70 years ago. When would that take me to? 1945? 1950? When would that make me? 15? 10? No, it wouldn't be 15, would it? 1950? That'd be 10, just over. My maths has not improved, has it? Oh dear. Another memory, funnily enough, was people. Everybody seemed to smoke. We'll touch on these things again, I've no doubt. So we'll just pass them. But there wasn't many working men that didn't smoke Woodbines, Park Drive. A cigarette that should never ever, no cigarette really is good for you, but particularly bad must have been things like Capstan Full Strength, an amazing cigarette. It must have killed thousands and made fortunes for many, I suppose. I smoked for years and years. Not smoked now for about 30 years. I don't think I'd still be alive if I was a smoker. I'm on 76 next week. Heaven forbid. How time goes. Bombs and war. The war had been over many, many years, and we were forever reading about Americans testing and H-bombs and A-bombs. If I remember right, the H-bomb that the Americans tested in 1952, would it be, was more powerful than all the bombs used right through the Second World War. What a thought. What an amazing thought. May have prevented further wars, may not, who knows. And they're still talked about. Yeah, the A-bomb, atomic bomb. Black faces in Britain. We didn't see many. Certainly until not about 1947 or 8. Altered this country in many ways for the good. I remember the first coloured footballer I ever saw. A man called Lindy Delapino, I think his name was. Played for Middlesbrough. Good footballer. Many followed. Nice little quiz for somebody. Who was the first coloured man to play for England at football? I can't remember. But it's commonplace now. Some very, very good footballers. Coloured footballers. Many, many. Snow. Always snow. Seemed to be winter. We were children, so we loved snow. How adults hate snow. What a thought. We've had spots. It's only, as I say, November now. We've had some, not many snowy Christmases. Not here yet. What is it, 5, 6 weeks? What a thought. Seemed as if we had many when we were children. In actual fact, I once looked it up, and in the last century, I think there was, it was either 7 or 8 or 9 Christmas days in the entire century that we had snow. And yet when you're children and look back, it always seemed to be snowing, didn't it? We've got the running now to Christmas. Very pleasant, very commercialised. Children love it. The shops absolutely full of everything. Everything under the sun. Magical things. mystery and magic, I suppose. The children love it, and why shouldn't they? This is it. This isn't a practice. It's been a bit, this is a bit rough and ready, aren't they all? But it'd be nice to look back on. You can look back when I'm gone, and I shall beam down on you and listen to you reading. I'll do another one. I'm going to my daughter's, Sarah's, my wife and I, tomorrow, all being well, and we will see the seaside for the last time this year. And the seaside at Christmas is always different. I'll see you when I see you, which will be fairly soon this time, and one day I'll get the hang of this. Cheers.